If thought becomes reality, just like Tom said, then why is your reality still shit?
You know, if you're in Vietnam and want to know about business, actually, if you're anywhere and want to know about business, you might want to check out Tom Peng. He doesn't fuck around. Yeah, Tom Peng. He's A-okay. Peace.
The COVID situation in Ho Chi Minh City is not getting any better. I'm staying home more now, so therefore you can see I'm actually growing a beard. I don't have to see too many people. It's okay. It's okay for now. So today we're going to talk about my number one rule, which is thought becomes reality. It's so important because I always say, if you believe you can achieve, if you believe you can, you can. If you believe you cannot, you're right too, you cannot. What you believe is what happens. What you believe eventually will become your reality. But eventually you're gonna tell me, well, if that's true, then how come your life is still shit? You believe you can, you believe you will, you believe you're gonna have a lot of money, you believe you're gonna have success, you believe you're gonna have great family, love, friends, and so on, but your life is still shit. Why? And today I'm gonna answer that question. Basically, to put it simply, it's because maybe you don't really believe. Believing is not just you telling yourself a certain statement. I believe I'm gonna be rich. That is not real belief. That is not really in here and in here. You are not a true believer. You still doubt yourself. You believe you can do it, and when you actually do it and fail, do you still have the conviction to continue, to push yourself, find another way, keep trying, or are you gonna give up? You're gonna say Tom's thought becomes reality is fucking bullshit. You give up, you become a disbeliever, and you don't believe it anymore. If that is you, are you truly a believer? If you really believe in something, would you give up so fast? If you give up so fast, are you still a believer? I don't think so. You gotta believe to make it into reality. The minute you stop believing, that's not gonna be the reality for you. Also, I want you to think about what you are thinking. A lot of us think that, okay, I'm thinking, therefore it will become reality. Tom says thought becomes reality, so I just think this and it will become reality. But thought ultimately will manifest itself into action. If you believe something to be true, then you will turn that into action. And then that action will give you results. You believe in something, but how does that belief have changed your action? If every day you go home from work and you just climb into your bed and start reading your Facebook newsfeed, have you actually changed your thinking? If every day you come home from work and you lie on your couch and watch YouTube, it better be my YouTube, by the way. You watch YouTube for 3 hours. Have you actually changed your thinking? In those cases, I would say not. In those cases, you haven't changed your thinking. Because if you change your thinking, then your entire life process will be different. If you are still controlled by your old routines, every day you wake up at this time, you eat breakfast, you go to work, you do this at this time, you go home at 6, you lie in the couch after you go to work, you have dinner at 6:30, you must do this, you must have dinner with that person. If everything that you do is still the same, I'm here to tell you, your thinking has not changed. Because if you truly had a change here, then it will reflect in what you do during the day. And the reason why it's so hard to change your thinking, because we're brought up since we are kids, we're being taught to follow certain process, even though they may not be good processes. But it makes us feel comfortable. when we follow those processes. When we do the same thing every day, it gives us comfort because the human brain hates unpredictability. The human brain despises uncertainty. When things are uncertain, when things are not predictable, our brain goes haywire. Our brain goes, holy fuck, I don't know what's gonna happen. Holy shit. That's what happens to your brain. Your brain does not like uncertainty or unpredictability. So you go back to your original routines because that gives you comfort. That makes you comfortable. You don't have to go through the pain, the anguish that your brain suffers when there's uncertainty. So we all go back to our defaults. We all go back to the way we were. Even though you understand thought becomes reality, you watch my YouTube video, you know what I'm talking about, you read the book Think and Grow Rich, but you still go back to your default. You read it, you understand it, you hear what I say coming out of my fucking mouth, and after that, you still go back to default. You still do the same thing every day because you want comfort. You want your brain to feel comfortable. You don't want to deviate from your routine. You want to watch YouTube for 3 hours a day. You want to watch TikTok for 3 hours a day. You want to jack off. I don't know if that's what you do. You want to do all those things because they give you comfort. As a result, your thinking really hasn't changed. And real change in the way you think requires complete overhaul, complete change to what you do every day. Oh, fuck. My hand is tired holding the selfie stick, okay? Those are the things I do for you guys, the things I do to educate, to propagate the secrets of success to my audience. I don't get any rewards from this other than the satisfaction that I'm actually conveying something of great value, except very few of you will understand. If you want to change your reality, you got to change your thinking. If your thinking is the same, your reality will stay the same. If every day you do the same thing, you think the same thing, you wake up in the morning, the first thing that you think, when you go to sleep, that's the last thing you think is the same every day, your thinking hasn't changed. And if your thinking hasn't changed, how is your reality going to be different? The reason why your reality is shit is because the way you think hasn't changed. So therefore, your reality will remain shit. But to change your thinking, you have to make your brain feel uncomfortable. You have to get out of your normal routines. You got to do things you normally wouldn't do. You got to change, disrupt your patterns. You got to do everything different. And your brain hates that. But you got to do it, because if you don't do it, you're still thinking the same way. In order to change your reality, you have to think differently. If you think differently, you have to do everything differently. Very simple. Thought becomes reality. Is there a scientific basis to it? I don't know, but I know it works for me because I grew up with no rules. Nobody ever gave me rules, thanks to my parents. They're really smart people. Nobody ever told me what's right, wrong, good, bad, other than the most basic things like don't kill people, don't steal money, and so on. Other than those things, no one really told me what's moral, what's not moral. I have no rules, and that's great. I already have an advantage in life because of that. Thought becomes reality. Is there a scientific basis in it? I don't know. But I can tell you this, it worked for me. And when I believe in something, it's a very deep belief. There's a strong belief in me that I know my life has a very meaningful, powerful purpose. Whatever I'm here on this planet Earth, there's a grand plan for it. I believe in that. I believe my purpose here is grand, it's massive, it's meaningful. And I am fulfilling that destiny. Everything I do, I believe in what I do. And it's good and it's bad. I believe in aspirational things like building companies, helping people, built something significant in my lifetime. I believe in that. And because I believe in it, I'm making it a reality. It could also be bad. Somebody do me wrong. Somebody do something bad to me. And I believe bad things will happen to them. And guess what? Every one of those people that do bad things to me, eventually they end up terribly, either with my intervention or without. It's very fascinating. There are people that died after they did bad things to me, with no involvement from me. I didn't kill them, okay? I'm just saying. But people that did bad things to me, eventually they get fired, eventually they lose their jobs, or they suffer terrible illness or even death. Is it because thought becomes reality? I don't know. But I do think bad things will happen to them, and they do. So now, thought becomes reality could be for good, and it could be for evil as well. It's like, the movie Star Wars. It's like you're the fucking Jedi. You can use the power for goodness, light, or you can use it for evil, like the darkness, the Dark Lord. The Dark Lord, who was his name? The Dark Lord. I'm saying it's a powerful thing that you can leverage either way. It knows no good or bad. It's just that thought becomes reality. And let me tell you something more. We don't know how the universe works, but we do know a few things. I'm going to tell you something you may already know. There's time dilation. Time in this part of the universe is different from other parts of the universe, depending on gravity, depending on how fast you travel. So if you're near a black hole, time is slower. There one day could be your 3 years. That is fascinating. We travel in different times. We travel at different velocity of time. But there's even something more fascinating, and that is the idea of quantum entanglement. It's possible to entangle two particles. You put one particle at this side of the universe, and you put the other particle at the other side of the universe. And with no medium in between, they cannot communicate with each other. And they're so far apart, they cannot communicate with each other. But one particle can predict the state of the other particle. It's true. Google it. It's called quantum entanglement. Let me get to the crazy part. We know there was a Big Bang. We know the universe was down to an infinitesimal little dot 13 or 14 billion years ago. That means we're all entangled. Every particle in this universe is entangled. So do I believe that my thought can change reality? Yeah. I believe there's a scientific basis for it because every particle has influence on every particle. This is too deep for you. This is too much information for you. But I'm here to tell you that it's not just some pseudo psychology mumbo jumbo, thought becomes reality. We don't really understand how the universe works. And I'm here to tell you that your thought could change reality if you wanted to. In Africa, and later on in Latin America, voodoo is a very, very strong cult or religion or belief. Voodoo. And these people really believe in the magical power of voodoo. And if you wish somebody to die, they actually die just from that belief. Google it. It's true. It's amazing. The reason why it works is because everybody believed in this common currency called voodoo. It's because they all believe in it. It becomes real. You can actually vex someone, and then that person will actually suffer. And is it psychological? I don't know. But we know it works. For the people that believe it, it works. So I'm saying here, thought becomes reality. And if there's anybody that believes in that, it's me. And I'm a strong practitioner of that. I believe, and I believe strongly. I believe 100%, 120%. I believe that I'm here for a very, very meaningful purpose, and I believe in rewarding those that do good, and I believe that those who hurt people, and especially those that get in my way, they're going to suffer, and they have. Thought becomes reality. It is all true in my mind, and it's manifesting for me every single day. I would not be here today if I did not believe that thought becomes reality. So that's the scientific pseudoscience, metaphysical stuff. Maybe believe or not believe, up to you. But I'm here to tell you that if you want to change your reality, you got to believe. And to believe meaning that when you believe, when you think differently, everything has to change. If nothing you do has changed, if every thought that happens to your brain stays the same every day, then you haven't changed your thinking. If you haven't changed your thinking, your reality is not going to change. Take fucking action. Really think about what you think every day, right? Think about what you think and make some changes. Take fucking action. Don't be a fucktard.